Because A is not 1, we have to make our box. On your test, there are 3 factoring questions, which is why we are, you know what, it did that last period also. That is so weird. Hold on. Be here close to it just in case it decides to keep doing that. So we're going to make our box. A goes here, C goes here. Then we make our X. On top of the X, we take A times C, which would be -30, and B goes on the bottom. We need to find 2 numbers that multiply to be -30, but add to give you a -7. Two numbers, they multiply to -30, add to -7. You are correct. All right, so we got -10 and +3. Who had that for their 2 numbers? So in one box, I'm putting a -10x. In the other box, a +3x. So let's go 2 squares at a time. These 2 squares have a GCF of x. They're both prime. The only number that goes into 1 to 2 and 3 is 1. So now we're going to go to our second column. These are both multiples of 5, so we can take out a 5. Just like people, it takes the energy of who it's next to. Because that 5 is on top of a negative, it's a -5. Now we're going to go across. Both of these boxes are even numbers, so I'm going to take out a 2 and also an x. And then our bottom row, I can take out a 3. Now, you can always check to see if you got the right answers, because it should multiply to give you what's on the inside. So our factors are 2x plus 3 and x minus 5. All right, let's go to our notes. Let's go to page 3. So the most important part of this chapter is being able to, it's on this table over here, is being able to identify opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse, okay? Just remember the hypotenuse is always across from the 90-degree angle. So in this example, this is my 90-degree. Across from that is the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse will always be the hypotenuse. The other 2 sides, adjacent and opposite, that changes based on what angle we're looking at. So if we're looking at angle A, right next to angle A would be this adjacent leg. That's why that's called the adjacent. And across from angle A is my pink side. Now, there is an acronym that is used to help students remember what ratio we're going to use, because there's 3. Everybody look at your calculator real quick. Go down to the 4th row of the calculator. You should see 3 buttons. One that says SIN is pronounced sine. The next one, COS, cosine. The third one, TAN, which means tangent. Does everybody see those 3 buttons? Okay. We use the sine button when we know opposite and hypotenuse. Sine uses O and H. Cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. And tangent is opposite over adjacent. So I would really encourage you all to remember the acronym SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. So you'll know which ratio you're going to use. Let me write it on the back. So let's practice labeling the three sides of our triangle. So let's look at this right triangle that we have right here. I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to write this bigger. This is X, Z, Y. You always start by labeling your hypotenuse. Which side do you think is your hypotenuse? X, Y, or Z? Z. So this is my hypotenuse. Okay. If we look at the question, all three of these are referencing angle F. So that means I'm talking about this angle right here. There's two more sides. We have this side, which is side Y, and we have this side, which is side X. So everyone see that angle I circled in green? Does everyone notice that the Y is right next to F? It's literally connected to F. That means Y is your adjacent side. X is across from angle F. That would be my opposite side. Being able to label your triangle opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse is 100% of the test. If you cannot do that, you will not pass. It is very important that you're able to recognize what side is the hypotenuse, opposite, and adjacent. Adjacent means right next to. So keeping in mind those ratios that you see that I wrote on the board, sine is O over H. So which side, which letter is opposite? X. Which side is the hypotenuse? Z. So X over Z would be my ratio. Cosine, adjacent, Y over hypotenuse, Z. Tangent, opposite, X over adjacent, Y. We're going to practice this a lot. A lot. Alrighty. So I really don't like the way this question is set up, but we're going to still work through it because, again, you need to practice. Okay. Now, these three are talking about angle A. So if you have a highlighter, you might want to like highlight it or something. And these three are talking about a different angle, angle B. Notice we never talk about the right angle. We can't use C. It has to be one of the other two. All right, so I'm going to use this one first. So first thing I want you to do, I'm going to zoom in. Which side is my hypotenuse? The 9, the 15, or the 6? 15. So I'm going to put HYP right here. I'm just going to put an H actually. Now we're talking about angle A. I'm going to circle that angle. There are two other sides to our triangle. I have this side, which I'm color purple, and I have this side, which I'm gonna color green. Looking at angle A, would you say 9, the purple side, is next to angle A or across from angle A? Nine is adjacent to it. Another way to think about it is, do you see how this side actually runs into angle A? This purple row actually intersects to angle A. That means that 9 is adjacent. Opposite would be 6. So let's go ahead and write this down. So cosine is A over H, so that would be 9 over 15. Sine is O over H, so that would be 6 over 15. Tangent is O over A, so that would be 6 over 9. So I'm going to do it again, but this time I'm going to focus on angle B. This will always be your hypotenuse. It doesn't matter. 15 is a hypotenuse, but now I'm going down to this angle. I'm going to use the same colors. The difference is now, if you think of this as a road, if I'm driving on this street, do you see how this street runs into angle B? Does everybody see that? If I'm driving from here to here, do you agree that I'm going to eventually hit angle B? If I drive on this road, I'm not going to hit B. All right, I'm not going to hit B. I have to make a turn to hit B. But this one runs into it, so this would be adjacent. 1 second. So now 6 is adjacent and 9 is opposite. Yes,
okay,
Carmelo.
So whatever line is running to the angle we're talking about is the adjacent.
Right, because adjacent means I'm right next to you.
Okay.
That's another word. Like you are adjacent to Mackenzie and to Jordan. You're opposite from Jasmine. Okay. If you're right next to it, you're adjacent. So opposite, so let's do this one. So sine of B would be O over H. So what two numbers am I using? O is what? 9. H is still going to be 15 no matter what. Tangent, O over A. So now O is 9 and A is 6. Cosine, A over H. That would be 6 over 15. Okay. Let's hit it. Go ahead and copy down the steps on finding your ratio. Again, being able to find if it's a sine, cosine, or tangent problem is 100% of the test. If you cannot find it, you will not pass the test. So we're going to spend a lot of time practicing figuring out opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse. I always think the easiest side is hypotenuse, so we always start with that one because that's across from 90 degrees. Then we're going to circle the angle because they're going to give us one of the angles. We're going to circle that angle and we're going to label the other two sides either opposite or adjacent. If it's right next to the angle, it's adjacent. If it's across, it's opposite. All right, so let's go. We're gonna just jump on in. We got 6 questions. I'm most concerned with you figuring out if it's sine, cosine, or tangent. All right, that's what I'm gonna focus on. We may not solve all of them, but I am most concerned with, can you figure out if it's a sine, a cosine, or a tangent question? Okay, So let's look at the first example here. First thing first, hypotenuse. All right, well that is, I always like to put my pencil at the corner and go across. So when I do that, 17 is across, so that would be my hypotenuse. I'm gonna put an HYP. All right, this is the angle right here. This 50-degree angle is right there. It just can't fit exactly in the corner, but this is the angle. That's my 50-degree angle. I have two more sides. I have this side, and I also have this side. According to where this angle is this purple angle running into that angle, or is it opposite of that angle? So what do you think this is? This street, I'm driving on the street. Am I going to eventually hit this circle? That means that the purple side is adjacent. This side is opposite. Okay. Notice that we don't have anything on this side. We have a 17 here and an X here. So the only two sides that we're going to reference are these two sides. So what ratio uses O and H? Which one? If you don't remember, look on the board. Sine. So let's set it up. We have the sine of 50 degrees equals opposite over hypotenuse. That's how you set up your proportion. And I don't know, do you all remember the butterfly method? Where you cross multiply? That's what we're doing. So I'm going to go this way. So that would be 1x equals, and then I'm going this way. 17 times the sine of 50 degrees. Go ahead and type that in your calculator. You don't need to put parentheses around sine. In your calculator, I want you to punch in number 17. Then you hit the sine button and 50. And it says to the 10th place. And I got 13. So the length, this is how long that side is. This side, because they only ask us for one side. This side right here is 13 units, whatever the measurement is. It could be 13 inches, 13 feet, 13 yards. It's 13 something. All right, let's look at the next one. Step number 1. Put your pencil in the corner of that box and draw an arrow. This side is my hypotenuse. All right, 32 is right here in this corner. So we got two sides left. I have this side, which is, I'm going to call that the pink side. And I have this side, which is the green side. What is the green side? Does everybody see why it's opposite? Be honest, because again, this is 100%. All right. If you are driving on this pink street, okay, I'm driving on the pink street, will I eventually run into that red circle? If you will eventually run into that angle, it is adjacent. The adjacent side is connected to the angle. Okay, maybe that's something you want to write down. Adjacent is connected to the angle. So this is adjacent, which means this side has to be opposite. All right, there isn't nothing labeled on this side, so I'm not concerned with that side. I'm going to go ahead and actually cross that out. I'm only dealing with the 9 and the X, which is opposite and adjacent. What's the trig ratio that uses opposite and adjacent? Tangent. So let's set it up. tangent of the angle is opposite, which is 9, over adjacent, which is x. It does matter that you put that. Opposite has to be in the numerator, adjacent in the denominator. Let's go ahead and make this a fraction. Let's cross multiply it. Now to solve for x, because x is being multiplied by tangent, what do you think I'm going to do to get rid of the tangent? Divide it. So use your fraction button. X equals 9 divided by tangent of 32. Which is 14.4. Who got 4? If you did not get 14.4, if you're having a hard time typing it in, I will help you. If you don't ask for help, you won't get help though. All right, we're gonna do C, and then D you're gonna do by, I'm just gonna walk around to see if you can pick the right ratio. That's literally so I can get a count. All right, let's look at C. Step number 1. Let's figure out what side is the hypotenuse. Here is my angle. Put your pencil in the corner. Draw an arrow across. Pencil in the corner. Arrow across. So that means that 10 is my hypotenuse. All right, see how this 29 is closest to this corner? So this is my angle. I got 2 sides. I have this side and I have this side. I'm really just concerned with the side that has something on it, which is the purple side. This is the side that has something on it. I don't really care about this side because they didn't put us anything here. But what is this purple side? Again, I'm driving on this purple road. Eventually, I'm going to run into that angle, which means this is adjacent. So what trig ratio uses adjacent and hypotenuse? All right, so we got cosine of 29 degrees equals adjacent, which is my x, over hypotenuse, which is 10. Put this over 1. Let's cross multiply it. Solve it for x. You lost Carmelo. You look a little sad back there. Okay, you look a little depressed. We got time. Test is next Wednesday.
It's next Wednesday.
Yeah. Sure is. It's supposed to be a short, easy chapter. Huh? Yeah. You have to know how to find if it's sine, cosine, or tangent, which is what we're going to spend the majority of this week doing.
Okay, so what are you going to add to it? Because it's always...
How about when you come to class, you'll see. Let's just focus on that. All right, so we got 1 times x, which would be x, equals 10 times the cosine of 29. Go ahead and type that in. But no, regardless of what is added, it's still based on you figuring out if it's a sine, a cosine, or a tangent. Because if you don't pick the right one, you have already missed the question. So 10 times cosine 29. All right, so now for the next one. And I am most concerned. I'm going to give you all, and I want everybody to write something. I'm not gonna say anything. I will not call you out if you're wrong. But I need to get a gauge here, okay? Looking at this next question, I just want you to write on your paper if you think it's sine, cosine, tangent. Don't even worry about solving it. Looking at this question, I want you to figure out if it's sine, cosine, tangent. I'm gonna give you all a minute to think about it, and then I'm not gonna say a word. I'm just going to make an observation. I need to make a count. How many of you are getting the right trig ratio? Just write something. Just pick one. If it's not right, you can erase it. No big deal. Looking to see what you wrote. You write something. Sine, cosine, tangent. Put it. Sine, cosine, tangent. Right away. Is it right? I'm about to tell everybody in a second. Now look at yours. All right, 5 out of 16 is sine. Sine. 5 out of 15 students. The correct ratio is sine. Let's talk about it. First thing first, do we all agree that if you draw an arrow from this corner across, we're going to land on X? That's hypotenuse. Okay. This 69 is closest to this. The 69 can't be here because that's my box. It's either here or here, but 69 is closest to this. All right, so we got two more sides. I have this side, and I have this side. All right, does the blue road run into the house? It doesn't. That means the blue road is opposite. It's not, the green road would be adjacent, but the blue road is opposite. So that would be a sine ratio. So that would be sine of 69 equals 13 over x Let's go ahead, cross multiply that out. So that would be x times the sine of 69 equals 1 times 13, which is 13. Because sine of 69 is being multiplied, then that would be a division. So x is 13 over sine 69. And again, I'm not even worried about the answer part. I'm worried about getting more people to identify the right ratio. You type that in your calculator. And I get 13.9. Did you all get 13.9? All right, go to the next one. Identify sine, cosine, tangent. We're going to try again. I want you to label, and I want everybody to pick something. Pick sine, cosine, or tangent. That's what I want you all to do for this next question. Based off what you labeled, what would you pick? Don't be scared. What y'all scared about? This is how I know. It's nothing to do. This is called school. In school we learn and we practice until we get it. It's okay if you don't have it yet. This is just the first day. So you gotta pick based off what you label, if it's sine, cosine, or tangent. Wow, we get to 11. 11 of you all picked the right one. It is cosine. This is cosine. See how much growth we made in just one question? This is school. 11 out of 15 people pick cosine. That's good. Let's talk about it. First thing first. Figure out what side is that arrow pointing to? It's pointing to X, which means that is my hypotenuse. So I'm really just concerned with this side right here. All right, that 34-degree angle is really in this corner. Okay? If I label the side that has a 17, if I'm driving on this street, do I run into the angle? That means the 17, if you can touch it without making a turn, this is adjacent. This is adjacent, which means this is a cosine ratio. All right, we really don't have time I'm going to set this up, but we can solve it later. I want you all, I'm going to see if we can beat 11. F. Figure out what the ratio is for F. That part, that's algebra. You should know how to do that. I ain't worried about that. Okay, sine, cosine, tangent. That's the new material. First, you label H. Well, I can say one thing. You sound like you're saying the right thing. You might want to listen to them. Okay, just pick one. Pick that one.
Yeah. So she thinks because that's how because when you you guys, because it was the one thing I want to know, that's like, till they all have these little chicks, you just do that.
All right, 12 people. It's tangent. So that's growth. So I'm going to just quickly go through it across. And I stay after today, by the way, if you're like really interested in learning this and you need help. This is hypotenuse. Right next to this 22. That's my angle. Well, first of all, just the fact that there is nothing on H tells you it has to be tangent. Tangent is the only one that doesn't use H. It's tangent. So 19 is adjacent and X is opposite. Alrighty, we're going to keep trying, y'all. We'll get it.